Hey everyone, welcome to Breakout Wednesday for the 19th of October 2022. It's currently 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast, 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast. First of all, remember this is never financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is simply a video blog on how one trader sees the market, and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own decisions. Okay guys, I've got to be super quick tonight. I meant to punch this out at 1 o'clock, the Savo, but somehow now it's 4:30. I want to get out of here and go play with the kids before bedtime. All I'm going to do today is 5 stocks that I'm looking at, okay? Really quick, that's it, and then I'm gone. 360 is a stock I've been talking about. I've talked about a few times. It's setting up in this big base. It broke out yesterday. Decent volume, okay? Volume a tiny bit above the 60-day moving average in volume, so not gigantic or anything, but decent. Nice break of a decent base that we haven't really seen much of lately. So interesting to see what happens. I have a position on 360. And this isn't one I'm going to scalp. This is one I'm going to just be a bit patient because of the size of that base. I'm going to have a crack at having a bit of a bigger move. I will move my stop to break even ASAP, okay? I'm not going to, really spell that out, right? Because it's an open trade. But I will move my stop to just past break even when I think I can, which won't be too far from now. And I'll be ruthless with that. We'll give zero shits if I get stopped out at break even. I'm going to have a shot. Of that stop not getting hit and then flying up here, that is a good risk reward for me. FDR, okay, this is a tiny little tiddler, real spec stock, so don't cry if you lose this trade because it's super risky. But okay, massive, nice base, sideways base, huge volume today. No idea why. I haven't looked at the announcements. Probably worth checking that, which I will do later tonight. Tiny volume this base. I mean, it has days where it does like 3K worth of, $3,000 worth of stock, so pretty thin, but obviously big volume today. Did about 400k worth, and so it's not that big volume, is it? But so it'd be a smaller trade, but FDR setting up into sideways base with big volume coming in. IPD, okay, this one's probably my least favorite of the 5, because it's just got a lot of this supply ahead of it. But I just came up in a tri-point resistance scan. I like, the multiple tests of this resistance. I don't really like this big volume down day here, but I'm going to watch this one. If we get a huge volume dry up, this one needs the other two are obviously ready, but this one needs, I'd say, like 4 to 5 days of incredibly tight action here. Like just stuffing around here to 4 or 5 days, then waking up one day going bang, okay? I'd like to see this is illiquid enough to care about the market depth. So I'd like to see the order book kind of have a big war here, and then the odds of having a nice sustained move, explosive move, meant to say, is a bit higher. So IPD, I was nearly not going to talk about it, but I think it's worth watching if it can just chill out another 4 or 5 days and then break that wall. Okay, LLL. Now, this is one of these, Leo, a lot of you will know the history of Leo and how it came to be listed. Obviously float, and then had a bit of a crash like they always do, just after float, big run up, okay, and then this little base. Okay, now it poked its head above it today. If we have a look at what are some of the other lithium stocks are doing, like PLS is obviously in a big uptrend still. There's a lot in America that are in big uptrends and breaking new highs, like CXO pivoted, okay, here, and then pivoted out of this little base. And that doesn't mean that LLL is going to follow, but I do like this base and the little volume here during it, and and for me, it's I've got a little position on it here. I've got a smaller position and a bit of a wider stop. I'm going to see what happens in LLL. I think there was enough there for me to have a crack. So LLL. Now RHC. I have flipped my opinion on RHC and I'm long. Now I talked about this last week as being the possible short. It never broke down. I think it did by like 1 cent, okay, which I wasn't filled on. I mean, I'll show you here. The low was 56.04, I think it was. 56.04, okay, you just, it's pretty dumb to short something at 56.04, right? You always wait to 55.99, right? So then but I was watching this so carefully because I thought that I was about to get short on it. It faked out by 1 cent. And then turned around. Okay, I'm long from a break of this day here. Okay, and my stop is down below here, below a break below $56. Okay, you can see some of the best trades are stocks that you're planning to go short or planning to go long, and they fake out and then you just think, holy shit, that thing just faked out and did a stop run, and then you go the opposite way. The risk reward to me on this is ridiculously good. Okay, you've got an entry on a break above 56.86, okay, and a stop below 56. I'm risking like say 90 cents in an attempt to kind of see if this can just rally up here and make 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1. So last week when I was going through risk reward ratios, I was only going up to 4 to 1. But trades like this, you can literally have a shot at making 10 to 1s if it runs up here, okay? And I'll do partial exits on this. This may turn around tomorrow if the Dow dumps and bang and stop me out. But trading is all about taking good bets, good risk reward bets, things that make sense. And you could do this on the short side, and I will talk about it more in the future about stocks which are given a very bullish pattern. They fake out and then they turn around and dump in, and they are amazing shorts as well. I'll talk about that more though when the market turns, but for now I'm long RHC. It's reminiscent of the GRR trade, okay, which I talked about. Now that's it, 5 stocks. They're really all the ones I'm looking at. Guys, sorry, there was one other thing I was going to talk about. Some of these channels that I talked about a few weeks ago have played out. The ASX one hasn't as well, but the BEN one has. Awesome channel, breakout, and explosive move. And then there's a few others, guys. Like if you look around and search hard, there are so many like these. APA broke out yesterday and today, but there are a bunch of others, okay? Some of these channel breaks are just incredibly good, but they're also just good to watch them break out of these channels and see what happens after. Even if this races up, and then what happens is it form a nice tight base or high low, that sort of thing. The other thing I'm really looking at is some of the big end of town and trying to figure out is Rio putting in signs of massive bottoming action here. Huge bottom here, and then what we really obviously need is a close above this resistance. Okay, just all this flush out and supply, all this flush out stuff here, where I think there's just accumulation happening. Obviously this might break down, but if it can just have a nice break above this key line, then I'll definitely add in some of that bigger end town stuff to something like the self-managed super fund. That is it, everyone. Short and sharp, but that's life. Hope that's good. Cheers, bye.